So I'm pretty sure I just saw this male right here. Yep, right there. I think the male and the female are right now laying eggs. One of the big ways you can tell rainbows are breeding, especially, is when they get these wild color changes where their heads start to turn white, the males, especially with the Boesemani. They kind of turn this yellowish color just a little bit. And a lot of times fish, when they breed, kind of have these aggressive, almost looking behaviors. But in this corner right here, I'm almost positive I saw one of the females laying eggs. Yep, see, there's the other male right there, probably trying to fertilize them right now. One of the ways you can tell Boesemani are about ready to breed, especially with the males, is they get this really dark purple head. They start to flare, and like the tip of their nose to like the middle of their head will turn this kind of like white, maybe almost yellow color. It's a really neat thing when you see too, because all rainbow fish display these great colors and flare and things like that. It's one of the reasons why they're such popular fish. And what's really neat about this guy is he's probably fathered about 100 fry, and I'll show you some in just a second here. Yeah, this is one of my favorite tanks right here. We got all the fry that he's just grown up. And these are what I usually sell on Aquabid. See if I can find one of the really big ones, because I've got a couple that are about ready to sex out. And yep, there's one right there. The neat thing about rainbows is it takes them forever to grow out, but they grow really steadily over time. And these guys are probably about 6 months old, so it really takes the better part of a year for most rainbows to grow out, especially Boesemani. Boesemani are the notoriously slow ones. So I'll take you into the other room and show you some of the fry that I've got working too. Might have to get a flashlight in here, but you can just barely see the fry right there. And it's really neat because this is really, they go in 3 stages almost, especially the Melitanias. They have their fry stage where they just look like little grains of rice. And the neat thing is these are only about, these are a couple months old too. I had these hatch in about probably late December, early January. So these are a couple months old, and they're about the size. The larger ones are like large guppy fry. These are probably about 4 or 5 months old right here. Oh, that's a guppy fry. These guys right here are probably about 4 or 5 months old right there. I don't know what's wrong with this one right here. He's got a little tube right there. But I think that just may be a birth defect or something that happened when he hatched, because that thing eats just like any of the other ones. Looks really, 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 really healthy. So this is stage 2 that they go through. And then they go into their adult forms. Now this is a really mature male. This is Push Pop, and he's probably the father, probably the majority of them. But usually they'll sex out at about 1.5 inches. One of the neat things, I was watching Gary Lang's video, and what he said is Boesemani are actually the ones that will breed at probably the smallest size. sometimes usually an inch, maybe 2 inches. So that's the neat thing about Boesemani, is they'll start breeding at a much smaller size than most other rainbows. I'll see if I can find one of the smaller males. There he is right there. He actually I bred out from a fry that I got on Aquabid too, and he's probably pushing maybe 3 inches now. Push pop's closer to 4, maybe 4.5. And I bought him pretty much at adult size. The neat thing is how I started breeding these guys is one day I was keeping them at a too low of a temperature, and they weren't very active. And I looked at the top of the tank right here, and it was completely full of rainbow fry. So I decided I'd start putting spawning mops and put them in another tank. And I've been breeding Boesemanis ever since. And they're a fun little fish. They take a lot of time, but they're fun fish to grow out, and probably the most popular rainbow fish. I mean, I've sold probably about $100 worth of them on Aquabid. And people like getting them young, then they can raise them out and watch them grow themselves. And it's neat when you get some nice genetics from a male like this too. And what I love over time is my females have actually gotten more orange. They've gotten the more orange colors in them. They're not really flared up right now because I haven't fed them yet this morning, but when they start getting their real orange colors, they look really, 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 really cool. The funny thing too is Push Pop's gotten more orange over time too. So a little bit on the videos. I thought I'd share some stuff with you guys about the 3 morphs, raising them. I'll talk more about how I feed and raise them too on another video. Later.